Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video, but a little bit different because we've got Ash on the channel and we are going to grill Ash into the... No, we've got Ash on the channel. Dude, how you doing?
Ash! I almost called you Ash. Ash, what's up, man? Hades, what's up, my dude? I'm happy to be here, man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good. Really good. Look, I saw your video with Cirilla and I was just kind of like, damn, there is a lot going on. There's a lot to unpack. But also, I've been on the kind of, I guess, the interviewee end of this type of stuff. And I know that sometimes there might be some questions you either want to ask that perhaps just don't quite make the cut, or some questions that you asked and almost like they're a bit brushed off. So I guess I wanted to kind of start there because there is a lot coming in Raid, which is cool, right? And I know we've just been on your channel, and I'll link that video down below where we talk about what this new massive feature might be, how we think it's going to be received by the community or you guys. So make sure you watch that as well. So I'd like to thank Dungeon Hunter 6 for sponsoring this video. It's the latest in the franchise. The last one was actually released in 2015, and damn, this is worth the wait. So this is a free-to-play mobile ARPG in a stunning fantasy world. This is going to be fast-paced hack and slash combat. You don't have to use various builds and utilize your skills to take down big bosses. This is totally free to play. Download now. There'll be a link in the description. You can also use a QR code to get involved. Now, you want to see something really cool? Once you take down bosses, that is not the end. Once you've taken down a boss, you can actually utilize them in your attack. Yeah, you can ride a boss into battle and take down the enemies using their skills. If riding them's not enough, towards the late game, you can actually shapeshift them to get the ultimate power out of their forms. Honestly, I've not seen this type of mechanism before. It's very cool, and there's over 100 uniquely designed bosses to utilize in your squads. So we really do have smooth visuals here. They've optimized the 3D graphics to the next level, stunning skill animations, cool abilities, multicasting, the best visual experience you're going to see. In addition to this, you're going to be able to play with guildmates. You're going to be able to go through different skill trees, test different builds out, look at different options that are available. You're going to be able to trade items via an auction house as well. Really, really cool kind of additional quality of life stuff. So download now. You can use the link in my description down below, or you can scan using the QR code. If you use my code, you will get a special starter pack. It's worth 50 bucks. You will get 10 summoning scrolls for the kind of hero collection part of this game. You will get yourself an SSR Lieutenant, who is Demonic Wolf, and you will get yourself an accessory pack. And to top it off, you can also enter the Lucky Spin launch event they're doing right now. You can get yourself an iPhone 15 Pro Max, an Apple Watch, and more stuff. Starts on the 15th of October. Don't forget to get involved. And thank you, Dungeon Hunter 6, for sponsoring this video. I guess let's go on the other track here, because it was quite a long interview, and I felt like there were some topics which perhaps just didn't land as well as they might do. So I'm going to start off and say, how do you feel about the way mythicals have been received in the game, and the kind of, I guess, the way that type of topic was answered by Cirilla and the team?
Well, I thought this is a great way to start the convo here, because it was a bummer that we started talking about that. Because first of all, I wasted 3 minutes talking about our favorite champion at the beginning of the interview. Always a good way to hold that viewer retention, I
thought it was Pixneal, by the way, when she was explaining it. I was like, oh, it's Pixneal, but no, it wasn't. Anyway,
Pixneal, that would have been a real crowd pleaser, wouldn't it, man?
That's what I thought.
They must give you free books, Cirilla. It must be nice for Pixneal. So no. It was Astrolith.
It was Astrolith.
So you guys can fast forward if you watch the video. It was Astrolith. Now you can go 4 minutes in and start the interview. Now it was a shame that we actually started on that topic, I think, because I think what she wanted to do in one answer is address the lack of communication and kind of saying they dropped the ball, like a little humility, as well as kind of double down that we don't have any good answers at the same time. And I don't think out of everything discussed in the interview, personally, I haven't read all the feedback and the comments about it, but I think that probably landed the weakest out of all the topics, I guess, just because, I mean, TLDR is okay, nothing's changing really, we're adding 2 more mythicals. There's going to be a mythical fusion, obviously, which everybody's aware of now, which was actually, cool with some asterisks, right? And And then like the cost of primal shard, she basically made it sound like, hey, we heard you. We're sorry for not communicating. And by the way, we brought the cost down. So there you go.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. When actually the reality is, let's be honest, like analytics are saying to them, this has not landed. Like that's the reality. Like people are not buying these shards, and we can see it through our analytics, and the price therefore is too high. And the general community feeling around, some of the different stuff is just not good. Like one of the things I've got a bit of a bugbear on is this whole, I'm in a clan that just came. I think we came first in our last Hydra clash, right? And I'm opening my chest right now, 30 quartz. So how in first place are you not getting shards? How do they think that that's an acceptable thing? It's just it boggles the brain, honestly, and it feels like they brought down the price of shards. They're still in a pack. I don't have one available, annoyingly, but in a pack. I saw them this week. They're still $5 a pop, which is a lot for a shard that can still land. What is it? 82.5% chance of being a rare.
Or a 99.5% chance of not being the whole reason that you want the shard anyway.
Yeah.
Right? Mythical. The biggest bummer to me, I hear you loud and clear and all that, and I agree. Listen, part of me, glass half full, is that we did it, guys. We did something good as a community, right? And I'm not just saying this as lip service. Like, enough people did not buy them that they took drastic action and they reduced the price. Like, is it as much as they ought to have? No. Could they go more? Hopefully they will. But we ought to give ourselves some credit. And I don't mean like YouTubers. I mean the community at large, right? Is that we didn't wail out enough because, as you said so appropriately and so spot on, listen, they didn't make the change out of the kindness of their hearts. They didn't say, you know what? Let's give back a little today. Let's just lower the prices, Like, I made a joke on one of my reaction videos that, like, they probably went in to lower those prices and it like flagged it with the superiors, like, does not compute, cannot go down. Like,
they had to add a whole new system to how to do it. No,
right.
But, to your point, they've changed the mercy system more in line with everything else that exists.
Yep.
Although actually, if they did 3 more things, but it sounds like that's a lot, but it's not hard things. If they removed the chance of getting a rare, first thing, if they applied the 2% chance times 2 the mythical chance when you pull a primal shard during their events, that's number 2 for me. And then number 3 is they just need to align their pricing for me to be just a bit above Void Shard or similar to Void Shard. And then I think, okay, look, the free-to players are never going to buy them anyway. That's fine. But it's whether they attract the kind of like the next group of people that actually are interested in these packs. I guess the other thing is just more ways that you could actually go out and earn these shards. They've put one in the daily login once a month. They've got some of the quartz around, but it's a bit lackluster in terms of where you can actually get these things.
I agree with most of your points. So first of all, the whole rare thing, this is a tough one, man. I want to be real, but I know it's not I know it's an unpopular opinion, but like, I wish they had came out with them to begin with without any rares. When I pulled the freaking War Maid, and that's not a joke, a campaign farmable rare out of my first primal, let's just say it wasn't a very exciting experience, right?
Sure.
But that being said, the problem is if you take away the rares, then the cost would be crazy. Like, they would be way more expensive than sacreds, So my fix would be, and like, I don't know if they'd ever do this at this point, but my fix would actually be bumping up the mythicals chance, like to a 1% or a 2%, making it so that they're actually somewhat obtainable, and also bumping up the way that we can get quartz or just primal shards in the game, like through existing content,
Yeah, I guess if we were earning the primals at the same rate that we earn an ancient, then actually all of that conversation goes away. It's like, I'm getting rares, but I get a reasonable amount of these things. So it's eventually you're going to be pulling a mythical champion and everyone's happy. And,
and for God's sakes, man, give us a 2-time mythical. Dude, I don't know why. Maybe I'm the only one, because like when I made this point, I didn't get a lot of comments being like, yeah, you tell him, Ash. It was kind of like silence. But like, it was such a slap in the face to me, honestly, that they're like, okay, guys, 2-time primal event. And then it's like, oh, yeah, but not including the mythicals, though. Just not like, what? That's the whole reason you have the damn shard, man. You're like, come on, man. So, man, and then their rationale is there's not enough mythicals for us to give a 2-time. And you're like, what? There's not enough of them, so we can't have them.
The fact is, then you just feel like saying, well, then you released them too early. Like, like that's on you. You've released them before you're ready for it.
Do not do a 2-time event and take away the only thing that you want to open them for, man. That was ridiculous to me. Personally, but as you know, like when they do a 2-time event, then I'll open my primals that I've been hoarding, because then I think it will be quote unquote worth it. But I don't know. They said they'd leave the door open for voids out of mythicals at some point, or out of primals at some point, but I just don't see how they even do that at this point once they've established this price point.
This is the problem, isn't it? Yeah,
I don't think they're going to do it
again.
They're going to create a void mythical, a new rarity with a new damn shard that costs 20 times more.
Well, I guess, let's move on from the mythical and the primal shard stuff. So what I was hoping to see, honestly, was some new quality of life changes, as well as, like, they talked about big features. I'm all down for big features. Like, big features are what makes the game cool. They talked about new champions. Yeah, great. All that stuff's good, right? But I feel like Raid is falling behind some of the competition now in terms of quality of life. And I just wondered if there was anything, in your mind around what you would have liked to have asked, the type of things that you would have liked to have seen kind of progressing in Raid outside of the big feature stuff.
Yeah, so she did touch on some, to give credit where credit is due, she touched on some pretty cool quality of life things. Like one of them that kind of no one really was talking about because there was so much other stuff in that, and good or bad in that interview, was the re-rolling ascension stats. Did you hear that? Did you catch that?
I did. I'm interested in how that's going to work, actually. Yeah, I did.
Me too.
About my reaction to it.
So like that's one that I feel like is, if done, like if it's just a free reroll, then that's cool. So another one was
just on that quickly. Do you think it's actually going to be like a new Chaos Ore? Because I can't see that they'd just be like, oh yeah, just go again, like that.
Yeah. Well, they do that in Masteries. You get a freebie before they charge you gems,
True.
But it's not Masteries. I think it's more akin to Chaos, or like you said, unfortunately. I think I'd be a little bit too optimistic if I thought they'd give us a totally free reroll, but we will see. Dude, I'm struggling for the other quality of life. Oh, the artifact storage and the accessory storage, champion storage.
That's true.
So that was a real good one, because that was one that a lot of people, I mean, it's been way too long. It's overdue. A break on the fusion thing, dude. That should have been from day one. That should have been 2019 added. No pop-ups. I mean, come on.
They actually spoke about it in a video when they first released some quality of life changes to the tavern. They spoke about it a long time ago.
I had this experience, Hades, where I was looking for it at one point. I'm like, wait, am I missing something? It's supposed to be in game, right? And it wasn't.
So it's been a long time coming. Yeah,
dude. I mean, I hate to mention we both cover Watcher Realms, and I hate to like compare them and stuff, because some Raid does a lot of things better and Watcher does a lot of things better. But one thing that absolutely motivated the hell out of me when it comes to, wow, we need this, is the upgrade, the food system, man.
It's what I mean when I feel like they're behind on a lot of these quality of life stuff now. And it might be because, they built their game back in the day, and it's not necessarily the easiest thing to just change something up. We think it is, but it's not necessarily. But I'm seeing a lot of games, honestly, in this genre, a lot of games do this so much quicker, less clicks, less of the kind of time-consuming stuff, which honestly you don't need.
Tedious.
Yeah. Especially, if you're pulling a load of mystery shards because you need it for like an event or whatever, the tedium to take 1,000 shards into, to get those 1,000 points on like a champion chase, for example, I literally could never do it. Some people literally say about 10,000 of these to do it in an event, and I'm like, damn, that must have taken you all weekend because it's so dull.
Right?
And there's just got to now be better ways to do that type of stuff. One for me. Sorry, go on.
No. So go ahead.
Yeah, I was just one for me, and I know you did touch on it in the interview, but I felt like it was batted back really. But the token trader it's like the forgotten, the forgotten uncle at a wedding. It's like
Right.
it's like he's on that table. He's right over there. He's sitting with the kids on the kids' table. It's like the dude's not even got a glass of wine. He's literally drinking orange juice because he's not in the mix. It's like what's going on with this? How are they not even just? Have they not rotated the heroes at least? But there's so much they could do with this.
Yeah.
For
the life of me, I don't understand. It's been like 2 years of the same damn champions there. It's crazy.
How easy is it to just once a month we're putting out 6 different legendary, at the least 6 different legendaries here,
or once a month or whatever it may be. Like once a month, you have the option to refresh. Like once,
lock one,
because some people might
refresh.
be saving up for one particular champion and they need a while to do it, obviously. So like keep it the same for them.
Yeah,
but maybe even cost 100 gems or something. Like I don't want it to be that, but like like incentivize Plarium to make more damn money, but let us have something different.
I honestly feel like if they want to win, they could put 6 legendaries side by side with 6 epics, right? So epics are in here as well.
Yeah.
You can unbind epics for a much smaller amount of this coin. They rotate these once a month, but you can lock one. Honestly, this feature could be brilliant in the game. Also, if you think about it, if they rotate once a month, people come back to this feature to see what's changed. Like in a similar way to once a month for those players that don't play anymore, they come back and watch what's the new Fusion video? Like they do, because they're interested to see if it's something that's going to entice them back in to play again or play for a bit longer and stuff. And damn, it just feels like this was one of the better potential options for the dupe system, which never really turned into anything. And I just think, what a waste. Like, what a waste of a potentially good system.
I still have hope. Call me a sucker, and I'm sure people will, but I still have hope, man, because like, dude, you're absolutely right. Not only that, man, but they could think about it. If this was a robust system, this could solve so many issues in the game, right? It could fix fragment summons, because you could sell fragments, get 50 fragments of a champion, but it will cost you 1,000, whatever that ratio is that they think is fair. But you could go after that could be a shop to where it alleviates some of the, like, let's be real. What is the biggest issue that you hear from your audience regarding, just champions in this game? It's that the pool is so watered with thousands of champions that even a 10x doesn't mean anything anymore. If you're anything like me, the last 5 10x's I pulled, I have not gotten the 10x. And it's like, you could alleviate all of that with a really robust life token system where you can sacrifice legendaries that you don't want or you don't want to empower and actually trade them in for champions that you want. It can give you, even if the price is exorbitant in terms of how many life tokens it costs, if there is a way to get Taurus or whatever the heck, if there's a way, even if it's super expensive, as long as there's a route, and when I say expensive, again, I mean like in-game currency, not like $1,000, right? £1,000 is like, to me, I feel like this could solve a lot of those frustrations. Cause that was another question that I asked off air, frankly, and you know this as well. Like, sometimes off air, I'll ask some questions, and if they have no answers for like 8 things, I've learned that all it does is enrage the kid. I'd rather have the community mad at me for not asking than me be like, okay, so what's up with the 10x? And she go, nothing. What's up with the Taurus and Marichka nerfs? Nothing. What's up with the epic empowerment? Nothing. Like that's, by the way, epic empowerment was another one that I actually messaged them this morning, Banana Jam and Cirilla, asking if they had any follow-ups, because she said she was going to check on it and get back on the life tokens and the epic empowerment. So we'll see if they have anything. I don't know. I'm not like holding my breath, but I think that's, to me,
feels like a no-brainer.
We talked about it, on my video too. But I mean, epic dupes, man, like we get them all the time. And plus there's the dupe system and all the everything associated with legendaries just continues that power threshold between legendaries and epics. Why not give epics a little boost,
Yeah.
It's obvious.
I mean, there's a couple of other things which I personally feel like they could get some easy wins from. And I don't know if it's on your radar the same as it is on mine, honestly, but I definitely would love to see, actually before this big new feature, maybe, like, Tag Team Arena for me sucks. Like, I honestly think it sucks in a number of ways. Like, it's not a new game mode, and it never has been. It's just classic Arena times 3, right? But so it doesn't make me feel like I'm trying something different. It does make me use more of a roster, so that makes a bit of sense. But there's no way to be the best, be a winner. I'm in an arena mode where it's like, it doesn't really entice me to play it. The Bazaar is just never been touched since it was released.
It's like gate kept, yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like, again, it's an area which I wish they would just revamp, bring something fresh in rather than.
The weird thing is I've become a little bit complacent about the whole tag team, like to my detriment, like meaning that I'm sure I treat it the way a lot of people treat it, is where I try to tank. I try to get easy matchups. I try to get 5 battles in. I try to get my faction wars so I can get my extra battles. And that's the only time I play or look at Tag Team Arena, I guess. So yeah, I think it's an issue. I mean, low hanging fruit is just make the shop open for everybody, the entirety of the shop, right? Like, that's low hanging fruit, easy. And to your point, it's an easy win for PLARIUM, right? But beyond that, I guess I have some like outside the box ideas, but do you have any like suggested fixes without just deleting the feature?
Well, I would prefer it to be a feature that at least has a different configuration of number of champions. So you could go actually 3v3v3, so you kind of have to bring some different team makeups.
It's a good idea.
I like the idea of, if somebody survives in a fight, then potentially there's actually a kind of tag system, so you could revamp team 2, team 3, so that, if you're actually getting through a fight, potentially you're amassing more numbers for the final fight. You could do a more of an arena focus, which is like more clan versus clan, where it's like you have to fight your way through a number of enemies' team defenses. I think there's a lot you could do with just a different game mode for like a final version of Arena, instead of we've just copied the same one.
You're right. There is no tagging in tag team. There is no tagging.
The name is wrong. The name's wrong. At least change the name.
Dude, I think those are all brilliant ideas. Clearly, you put a lot more thought into this than I have. I think that it's, I would love all of that, It's weird. Like, you keep saying this too, and obviously it should be a PvP feature. But like, I'm kind of craving like a gauntlet idea in this game.
Yeah.
Like a boss gauntlet would be cool too, that you tag team in and out of. Like you have a set 10 champions or whatever, but you have to get through like 5 bosses in a row or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you think the guild versus guild feature they've spoken about perhaps for next year is going to be along those sort of lines, almost like a gauntlet of enemy guild fights? Enemy.
I don't. No, I guess I don't. If I had to guess, I hope it sounds like it could be cool though. I'm not saying that I know the best way to, I haven't put a lot of thought into the very best system other than like the basic stuff, which we see in a lot of these games, which is, you kind of try to evenly match. And this is like essential, that the matchmaking is somewhat fair. And then, you strategize over who attacks which teams, kind of like Clash of Clans type style, for anybody who played Clash, that way, even if you're the lowest spender or a free to play, the lowest, whatever power count in your entire clan, you still can strategically add value. And I think that's the biggest thing they need to get, no matter what it is. The biggest thing is that whether you're the biggest whale or kraken, or whether you're the, the lowest power, the newest player in your clan, I feel like everybody should be able to add something to it. I feel like the matching should be fair. And I feel like the rewards need to be good in clan versus clan. People need to care about it, as well. So they have all those 3 dynamics. I don't want to say I don't care, but I almost have no massive preference whether we're competing to beat a bunch of bosses or whether we're going directly head to head with other champions. Do you have a preference?
Yeah, I think I think both ways honestly would be cool. It'd be refreshing. It'd be different, and that's, for me, that's the main thing when I'm looking at a new game mode that's coming in, because Raid's got a lot of game modes, right? It's packed actually at this point, so it needs to feel different. It needs to feel like there's something fresh about. And a reason to do the new game mode. And so I'm not really fussed about the direction. It's more the implementation and, does it does it scale well for people that are coming in as new players versus people that have been around for a long time? That's more my concern is getting that type of stuff right, because
I agree.
we still got a lot of new players. We talk to an audience. We played the game for a long time. We talk to a lot of our audience that might have played for over 6 months, but there's still this kind of wave of people that are less than 2 months in, and it could be. I mean, you could spoke about it on your channel. It's daunting when you've got all of these different game modes, so they still have to think about that.
You see it in the YouTube analytics. I'm almost, it's weird for us, right? Because I'm almost surprised to see new viewers, like every video you're getting hundreds of new viewers who watch the channel for the first time. And you're like, wow, cool. But to your point though, listen, man, like it's, dude, I'm going to be preaching to the choir here, but it's true. I feel passionately that it's true, and that is that Raid seems to be okay. The popularity of the game is going a bit down, over the last 6 months or whatever it is. And at the same time, they seemingly, ever since Soulstones, increased their monetization strategy. Yeah. So those two facts running parallel make it feel like they're milking the player base while the game is dying. Like there's no other way to digest those two things happening at the same time as players, especially when we're in the dark of what's to come. Yeah. But I feel like, and maybe I'm like totally overly optimistic here, but I truly feel like if, and this is a big if, but if PLARIUM can give more than they take with the new content, meaning if they can make it so it's not dirty pay to win. If the clan wars, when it comes out, is like, for example, they have these new like clan banners that you can level up your clan, right?
Yeah.
If they're generous with, okay, great that we have stars on top of our clan emblem or whatever that we can design, but if those stars come with, I don't know, 2% extra gold, 100 extra energy. Like if we're getting really robust things that make us care about leveling up our clan war performance is based on, and there's a correlation there. And if they give us a mechanism to actually get mythical and legendary skill tomes, and like, if they add all this stuff to the game, man, it's really gonna open up a lot more spending and revival, and it's gonna switch everything. And I really wish that the decision makers, because we both know, Hades, that I think, I don't want to talk out of school, but I think a lot of the PLARIUM team agrees with us.
Definitely. Yeah.
That's the crazy thing, is I think that I don't know who or whatever, but like there's people who are too monetized. Like, listen, you can open up monetization and make millions and millions and hundreds of millions more money if you just give back right now for the longevity of the game. It seems like a no-brainer to me, man.
Yeah, for sure. Look, I know we could talk about this for ages.
Yeah, we could.
I guess just like final question.
Yeah.
Like if you were kind of taking over today, right, and you had the power to implement one thing or change one thing, like what would be your biggest win? What do you think would be your like top thing that you'd love to either implement as a new thing or completely change up something that's already in the game?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is what we were just talking about, man, is like a really robust, a social element. I think that in these games, the more social dynamic you can have, the bigger win, the more for longevity, the more for, frankly, from a business perspective, the more players spend. Players aren't going to spend more unless you give them a social dynamic, I feel like, or I should say players are going to spend more naturally when you don't gouge them, but you add incentivization that is bolstered by a social dynamic, so meaning you don't want to let your I sound too aggressive with this, but like, you don't want to let your clan down, so you're compelled to spend that extra,
be involved.
So I feel like the more social you can add to the game and the more friendly and balanced and fair that you can make it, it will be a win in the long term. So it would be that I would focus everything on a really, really cool Guild Wars or Clan Wars system that, isn't just simply, clan versus clan or something like really lame like that. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've already spoken about it, but that would be it. It's a big one, but that would be it. What about you?
Yeah, I'm actually of completely the same opinion. Like, I think when she spoke about Guild Wars in your interview, really, like, my ears pricked up, because I was like, this is potentially what this game needs. And I've spoken about it before. Is what I thought Clan v Clan was going to be. And Clan v Clan came through, I was like, this is not the one. Yeah, this is not what we ordered. So I'm hoping that they do it really well. And obviously, you know, they've got new features coming. We can't wait to find out what they are, honestly. But
yeah,
they're definitely, I guess, bigging them up. You know, we spoke about it at length on your channel, and I will link that video down below because it's well worth a watch. But yeah, if they land the next 2 or 3 content drops well, and just ease back a bit on the shard event after shard event after shard event, like give us some events. Not this is a shard 10 times. This is a shard prism. This is, you know, the prime. Like, give us some different events that are just fun to do. You know, perhaps it costs you a bit of money to develop them, but we're like, wow, this is different. Then I think grade starts to climb again, rather than, you know, at the minute, as you say, it's kind of like treading water really at best.
Completely agree, man. Yeah.
Thanks for coming on. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. And honestly, thanks for, you know, pushing a really good interview with Cyrillia in the first place. I know some people are going to obviously come back and say, oh, he should have asked this, should have asked that. But actually, I think you got through a lot of topics in that interview. So fair play. Like, it was
thanks so much, solid. Man. I appreciate it. I always absolutely love coming on and chat and raid with you, Hades. So thanks for having me, man.
Not at all. Well, if you don't already subscribe to Ash, I'm sure you do. Go and hit the subscribe button and make sure you watch the other collab, which will be pinned down below. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. I've been Hell Hades with Ash. I'll see you later.